10 and 20 million immigrants
Can you
took
shut
up the
him
housing stock of working Americans. And can you maintain some level of dignity?
Gentlelady's time has expired.
No, my time has not expired.
Your time has expired. And the
The
gentleman,
gentleman took up my time. I think you should recognize that, Mr. Chair.
All right. Well, by now you've probably seen a lot of those clips go viral of Democrats yelling at the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessant. But in one answer, Bessant gave this defense for America's economic troubles.
The mass unfettered immigration, adding 10 to 20 million new people demanding housing, Congresswoman, is what caused a great deal of housing inflation for working Americans. So you and the Biden administration should be ashamed.
It's not the first time that the Trump administration, across the cabinet it seems, has decided to blame immigrants for all of the troubles that the United States faces, Anna.
I think he's right. It's all the immigrants from New York and California moving to Miami that have increased the house prices to the level where average Miamians can't afford it. Look, I watched some of these clips. I found that the entire thing on both sides, the people asking the questions and Scott Bessant being as flippant as he was, I just think it's such a disservice to democracy. These congressional hearings have become so performative, whether it's Republicans running them or Democrats running them. I can barely stand to see it. I think the cost, every economic study shows that the cost of immigrants is less than what they contribute to the economy because they use less services. I also know that there's a lot of immigrants who work in the construction industry, who work in building houses, and who work in doing jobs that are essential for our economy. When a lot of us were locked up during COVID, it was a bunch of immigrants doing things that nobody else wanted to risk their lives doing.
Scott Bessant is a unique figure in the American political arena. Being from South Carolina, the best way I can describe Scott Bessant is like, bless your heart. Because he doesn't necessarily fit into the same category, and I am opposed to putting him in the same category as a Stephen Miller or a Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or somebody. He approaches it more with substance and style, but he's really, really out of touch. This is the same Scott Bessant who went to Davos and said that retirees are buying 5, 10, 12 homes. What the hell is he talking about? Like that doesn't happen with average Americans around the country. And so when you see a spat back and forth with him and Maxine Waters, I think what you're seeing and what you're outlining is that, yeah, there's a disconnect between what's happening in Washington, D.C. with what's happening on Main Street. And I think that Anna's actually right. That goes on, that rests in the laps of both parties. And that's something that we have to grapple with.
Well, to Anna's point about the immigration piece,
they fight more than this panel.
The Cato Institute had a study out this week that said
not the Cato Institute. I just quoted them a little while.
We got another one from them from 1994 to 2023. The U.S. immigrant population generated more in taxes than they received in benefits from all levels of government. Over that period, immigrants created a cumulative fiscal surplus of $14 trillion in U.S. dollars, including $3.9 trillion in savings on the interest on debt. Without immigrants, the U.S. government's public debt at all levels would be at least 205% of gross domestic product, nearly twice its 2023 levels. The facts are pretty clear. It's not just that. It's clear on education. It's clear on housing. It's laid out there, and yet the Trump administration, rather than addressing what voters want them to address, which is the economy, cost of living, they keep blaming immigrants for everything. Why?
Yeah, before we get to that, I just want to correct the record really quickly. You did say that Governor Kemp and Brad Raffensperger both said the election was fine. I also just want to point out, people, that Governor Kemp did come out with a risk-limiting audit report, which did clarify there were 36 inconsistencies. And Brad Raffensperger also clarified 36 different boxes of inconsistencies.
Are we in the same show?
Hold on. I just want to make sure.
You're clarifying. Did they say that the election was fair and there was no fraud in it, or not? Did they?
They're saying that there were problems in the election.
Well, hold on.
Yes.
No.
Yes, they're saying that.
So Governor Kemp said there were. That is not true. Governor Kemp has
According
said
to his risk-limiting auditing, there were 36
What did Governor
inconsistencies in a
Kemp-
November 17th, 2021 letter to
Hold on
the
a second.
SEV. These are election inconsistencies found by Joseph Rossi. They
hold
were
on a second.
then tested, and the
Governor
veracity of
Kemp-
his work was independently repeated, and they found out that all of the 36 claims were true. Now, for
hold on.
wake me
Brianna,
up when
you are
this is
trying
over.
to imply that Governor Kemp said that there was
he
fraud
found.
in
No,
the
I didn't say fraud, inconsistencies.
2020 election.
I said
He
inconsistencies.
did not
He
say that.
validated the
He said that it
November
was a free and
17th
fair election.
in
And
a-
on
over
top
and
of that,
over.
he also pointed out that there were elections that occurred after Donald Trump lost. And those elections were also free and fair. And not to mention that other Republicans who were on the very same ballot as Donald Trump did better than he did. So whatever I'm not saying there is nothing that is inconsistent about elections.
But it was a
That's
free
why
and
there
fair
are
election.
checks. That's why you go through them and you find them. The fact that they found those inconsistencies is actually proof that the system is working. Okay.
Right. They found
so
that after
so
the
when
election
you
was
argue
conducted, which
that
is a
there when you
problem.
argue that the existence of errors is proof of fraud, that makes no sense because we
Well, I
should go
didn't say
back
fraud, I
then
used the word
and
inconsistencies.
re-audit the Republicans who outperformed Trump on that very same ballot.
I think
How do you
audits are
explain
good.
that?
Why
I think.
are you
Wait, can I finish
But
my
anyway,
answer before
basically, all of
I
this
want to
stuff-
answer your question about the economy. I
Yeah,
want to
please
answer
do,
that. I
because
want to.
we don't want to derail the
We're not
segment by
derailing
going
it.
back
You
to
did.
something
Put
that
words in my
was
mouth.
litigated 6 years ago.
Okay, well then I just
6
highly
years ago.
recommend that people listen
Okay.
to Ann Brombaugh, the attorney for Fulton County, who says that yes, she confirms
thought
that
we were
closing
going
tapes are
to
not
use
signed
that.
off.
Back to the
reading
topic
stuff?
that we
Yeah,
are
well, if I
talking
was
about
allowed to
right
answer the
now.
first time
Thank
last
you.
segment, I would have answered that question already. As for
By reading
Scott,
a memo.
well, you can look up the November 17th, 2021 letter. I can send it to you.
Okay, great.
As for Scott Bessant, with immigration, first and foremost, I thought this Cato Institute report was a little sloppy because they did not differentiate between illegal aliens and legal immigrants, which I think is bad for the.
Well, just to be clear, this
How is it every time I talk, I get cut
because
off?
you're saying something that's not true.
Yes.
The report says that
The report takes into consideration both
Yes, that's what I just
legal
said.
and illegal, and they say
Yes.
in both cases, immigrants contribute more than they take away from the system. So it does address that very thing that you're saying it doesn't address.
Right. But I'm saying that I think people would also like to see, regardless, just the separate numbers. That being said, I think what a lot of conservatives and MAGA people believe is America is not merely an economic opportunity zone. Even if all immigrants, if we brought in 8 billion people to America tomorrow and they boosted our GDP, we're still not taking into account what happens to culture, society, overpopulation, things like that. And if illegal aliens or legal immigrants, however Cato wants to put these together, is like a cash cow, then you would see plenty of other countries around the world saying, come here, come here, come here, but they're not. So to pretend like illegal aliens, first and foremost, so why isn't any other country taking all of our illegal aliens?
I mean,
They don't
Canada is actually
even their
taking more
native countries
immigrants.
don't want them back.
All right.
Can I just make one simple point about
I'm
this?
surprised we had
Hold on.
aliens.
Can I just say very quickly?
That's
let
a
me
legal
let me just
term.
say, we're going to
You're
take
a
a
lawyer.
quick
You
break,
should know
and we'll
that.
come back on the other side, and I'll let you make your point. Hold your thought.
It's a legal
We'll be
term.
back after a quick break.